Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Visionary Evaluation Series. You might hear a little singing, buzzing, humming, a chorus. I mean, if these are cicadas, I wonder how loud Wellcatas are. 17 years they've been underground, just chewing on roots and things, I understand. And now, here they are. They've come to the surface and are flying around. One's definitely going to hit me in the head. I hear there's 1 trillion of them. I walked by at least 20 on the way here. Maybe it was like 20,000. Not too good at, that sort of quantitative stuff. So, I'm here going through Visionary Evaluation on page 2 or 3, and we're talking about living in the Anthropocene. And, it's like, why do we use this term Anthropocene? It's, that's sort of what we're describing at this point in the book here. And it's sort of about this transition from the Holocene, the last 12,000 years of relative stability of the climate anyway, in nature. And then the Anthropocene, there's a phrase in here, the end of stability. Well, of course, nature's never been, like, static, like, the weights in the gym when nobody's there. They've always been moving all around. I mean, nature is alive. It's like a dynamic equilibrium. It's a dynamical system. So, of course, things aren't static, but in terms of stability, we've introduced, as humans, human values are something that was not present until it was. Those forces were not present until they were, and now they're some of the most powerful forces, period. Perhaps in the universe, we will come to find. So, what does this mean? We humans were wholly dependent on these Earth systems, at least for the foreseeable future. And, I hear people say things like, we don't love ourselves enough. Well, yeah, maybe I understand what you're saying there in some respect. But we kind of are loving ourselves to the insane detriment of the existence of everything else. In other words, in human way of talking about it, all ecological systems have been touched by humans and arguably degraded by humans. And if we're wholly dependent upon those ecological systems and their relationships and our sort of interdependence with them, man, that is going to be a rough road that we have, mapped out in front of us. No doubt about it. So, I guess, this book, it's about vision and values. And what I'm talking about here and the Visionary Evaluation is about creating a future, creating futures that we want. Now, we're wholly dependent upon this Earth system, something that we don't understand very well. I think we could argue that for a long time, whether it's macro scale universe or micro scale what is under our feet in the soil that we walked over for 17 years and never really thought about, not to mention all of the species never identified by science yet, and having no idea what they are for and that microbial universe. So we don't really understand these systems that we are compromising by sort of loving ourselves to death. And in this book, in order to create visions of futures we want and align our values and understand our values and align those two things, and maybe the intermediaries are our actions and outcomes, and we could go on and on. We're going to have to figure out some different ways than the way we have been doing things. That is sort of the setup here on page 2 and 3 of the book. And next we're going to talk about the 3 scenarios that we introduce in this book, sort of the context that we set for our process of visioning futures in various sectors in the year 2030. I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want. What's your vision for a future of well-being between humans and nature?